Gervonta Davis's draw in serious danger? Lamont Roach drops a major hint that could flip the result to a loss. If this appeal goes through, Tank's undefeated record might be done. The key issue? That moment when Davis took a knee, but the referee refused to call it a knockdown. According to the rulebook, if a fighter voluntarily takes a knee, it should be an automatic knockdown. But somehow, Davis got away with it, and that non-call played a major role in preserving his undefeated streak.
Man, I'm not. Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there. I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing.
Roach isn't the only one questioning the decision. Fans and analysts are already calling this one of the most questionable officiating moments in recent memory. If an official appeal is filed and reviewed, this draw could be overturned into a loss for Davis, erasing his unbeaten status. The big question now, will the boxing commission actually step in, or will Davis's star power protect him from a potentially career-changing ruling? Lamont Roach Jr. isn't just hinting at an appeal, he's doubling down on the idea that Gervonta Davis's undefeated record is about to be erased. He took to social media to add more fuel to the fire, suggesting that Davis is on the verge of going 30-1 instead of 30-0-1. Roach tweeted, "Word round the block, y'all fav fight, finna be 30-1, not 30-0-1. 2xx2 division champ." Roach is making it crystal clear. He's not letting this go. The way he sees it, justice still hasn't been served, and if the appeal goes through, he's already claiming that second divisional title. But will this actually happen? Or is Roach just stirring the pot? Now, let's see what the pros have to say about this brewing controversy. And Roach didn't stop there. He believes he was in control, landing more shots, more power punches, and doing enough to secure the win. But the non-call on that knee robbed him of what he feels should have been a majority decision victory.
I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing. So I'm not really that frustrated about that. But if that was kind of knockdown, I would win the majority decision.
If this appeal goes through, it could be one of the biggest official overturns in recent boxing history. But will the commission actually step in, or will Davis's status as a star fighter keep his record intact? The controversy isn't just coming from Lamont Roach. Now, the New York State Athletic Commission is officially involved. ESPN's Mike Coppinger reported that the commission has acknowledged the issue and is actively reviewing the fight. The biggest revelation, a technical issue allegedly prevented them from using replay to review Gervonta Davis taking a knee in round 9, a moment that could have changed the outcome of the fight. Mike Coppinger tweeted on X, "The New York Commission, in a statement to ESPN, said it is reviewing the matter involving the Gervonta Davis-Lamont Roach fight. It said a technical issue prevented replay review after Davis took a knee in round 9 that wasn't ruled a knockdown." This statement raises more questions than answers. If there was a technical issue, does that mean the commission will retroactively correct the mistake? And if they do, will the fight be overturned into a loss for Davis? With Roach pushing for an appeal and the commission reviewing the fight, Tank's undefeated record might not be as secure as it seems. However, the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing the matter and the result could be overturned. The New York State Athletic Commission, NYAC, has admitted that a technical issue prevented them from properly reviewing the critical moment in round 9, when Davis took a knee after getting hit. By the rulebook, that should have been ruled a knockdown, which could have changed the entire outcome of the fight. A commission spokeswoman stated in a statement to ESPN, during the round in question, following the commission's request for the replay video, there was a technical issue preventing the commission from receiving it within the allotted time for review. This admission opens the door for serious consequences. If the commission determines that an error was made, Davis's draw could officially be overturned into a loss, shattering his undefeated record and handing Roach a career-defining victory. With pressure mounting and Roach pushing for an appeal, Tank's 30-0-1 record is now hanging by a thread. The debate is far from over, and with a potential appeal looming, the controversy surrounding this fight is only growing. But what do the pros think about this situation? Here's how the boxing world is reacting. According to Showbiz The Adult, if Gervonta Davis's knee had been correctly ruled a knockdown, the scorecards would have looked very different. 2 of the 3 judges originally scored round 9 in favor of Davis, but a knockdown would have completely flipped the round in Roach's favor.
Because if that is ruled a knockdown in round 9, 2 of the 3 judges ruled it in Gervonta's favor. So that's a swing there going into Roach's favor, right? So he ends up winning the round, and with it being a knockdown, that's a point deduction, which would make it a 10-8 round. So that's a lot of points going to Roach's way. Okay, that's a huge swing. Go from a 10-9 Tank to a 10-8 Roach. That would turn the results of the draw into a victory for Roach, and it would be for all 3 judges, all right?
This massive shift would have taken the fight from a draw to a clear victory for Roach on all 3 judges' scorecards. This isn't just about controversy anymore. It's about whether an officiating mistake robbed Roach of a career-defining win. If the commission decides to act, Davis's undefeated record could be erased overnight. Now, Ariel Helwani is weighing in, calling it what many fans are already thinking, a robbery. Helwani points out that if the knockdown had been correctly called, the fight would have swung from a majority draw to a split decision win for Roach. But it doesn't stop there. He goes even further, suggesting the reasons why Davis could have been disqualified.
But all of a sudden now you're going to from a majority draw to a split decision win for Lamont Roach. He was robbed. The knee hitting the canvas should be a knockdown. The face getting wiped should be a DQ. They didn't use replay, apparently, and we're going to talk to Keith Eidick about all this, but there is replay in New York, and a fight that was kind of viewed as an afterthought would now be a gigantic rematch and one of the biggest upsets of the past,
This raises even more questions. If replay was available in New York, why wasn't it used? And if this decision gets overturned, we're looking at one of the biggest upsets in recent boxing history. But even if it doesn't get overturned, the demand for a rematch would be huge, transforming what was originally an overlooked fight into one of the most talked about controversies of the year. Veteran trainer Bozy Ennis, the man behind rising star Jaron Boots Ennis, has weighed in on the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach controversy, and he's not holding back. While he admits the fight was close, he believes Roach edged it out. But the real bombshell comes when he breaks down what happened in round 9, pointing out a clear violation of the rules that could have changed everything.
He beat him 2 times in the amateur, but this time, Lamont was ready, man. He was ready, he was in shape. He took tank punches, you know what I mean, and they was going back and forth, you know what I mean, and I thought it was a real close fight, but I thought Lamont edged it.
You've been in boxing for over 40 years.
Over 40.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anything like that? A guy takes a knee?
No. Now that's something I didn't expect him to do. You know what I mean? You know, he took the knee. You know what I mean, and then ran to the corner and got his eyes wiped out. They never allowed that. They would have started counting. You know what I mean? I see that he started counting, then he stopped.
Ennis's breakdown exposes a major officiating failure. He questions why Davis was allowed to retreat to the corner and have his face wiped instead of receiving an immediate count as the rules require. Even the referee began counting before suddenly stopping, a decision that could have protected Davis from what should have been a knockdown. With more and more voices calling foul, the pressure on the commission to overturn the result is only growing. Renowned trainer Robert Garcia isn't sugarcoating his thoughts on the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach controversy. While many are debating whether the 9th round sequence should have been ruled a knockdown, Garcia takes it a step further, arguing that what happened was so blatantly illegal that Davis could have been disqualified outright.
Look, it could have easily been a disqualification too, or a referee stops contest, because look, there's no way a fighter could take a timeout and go get his, during the round. There's no way a fighter could say, okay, timeout, because he took a knee like a timeout kind of thing, and walk to his corner to wipe his face. That's fucking unheard of and never seen before. There's no way that's legal in boxing. It shouldn't have.
Garcia highlights the unprecedented nature of what went down, Davis essentially calling his own timeout mid-round, walking to his corner, and getting his face wiped without any repercussions. According to Garcia, this should never happen in boxing, with even more high-profile voices calling foul. The calls for an overturned decision, or at the very least a major investigation, are only getting louder. With controversy surrounding the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach draw, Davis's coach Kenny Ellis has finally addressed the situation. While many experts argue that Davis should have been deducted points, or even disqualified, Ellis stands firm in his belief that Tank did enough to win, but even he acknowledges that bizarre things happen in boxing, seemingly brushing off the controversy as just another unpredictable moment in the sport.
If that's the case, it would have happened. The fight played the way it played. No excuses. That was the outcome. Over the history of boxing, bizarre things happen, man. And that's the way the ball bounced. I just think that, excuse me. I feel like Tank won. It wasn't his best performance, but he won. That's my opinion.
Ellis's stance reflects what many in Davis's camp have been saying. Tank won despite the backlash, and the outcome is what it is. But with the New York State Athletic Commission now reviewing the fight and mounting evidence suggesting the draw could be overturned, Ellis's statement might not be enough to silence the growing uproar. Mikey Garcia isn't mincing words when it comes to the controversial outcome of Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. While some in the boxing world are calling for an overturned decision, Garcia is already looking ahead, stating that the only way to settle the dispute is through an immediate rematch.
I'm sure he feels like they robbed him from that victory. I mean, I would like to see the rematch. It was a good fight. And because of the controversy, it deserves a rematch, an immediate rematch. Not just a rematch, down the line, a year, 2 years, no, immediate.
Garcia makes it clear, Roach has every right to feel robbed and shouldn't have to wait years for justice in the ring. With the New York State Athletic Commission still investigating, the pressure is mounting for some form of resolution, whether it's an overturned decision or an instant rematch. Coach Bernie weighed in on the situation surrounding Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr., and while he acknowledges the debate over Davis taking a knee, he believes Roach has every right to contest the result. However, despite the drama, Bernie personally thinks the draw was fair.
Which, if I was Lamont Roach, I'll probably recontest that. I'll probably try to contest that because, like I say, he did get hit with a combination, and you could see his hair too. But you just can't do that. He'd have been better off running around the ring and trying to clear his eye up, or letting the referee know like something, the hair, whatever. So. But no, I think it was a draw. I'm okay with the draw.
Even though Bernie sees the outcome as justified, his suggestion that Roach should appeal the decision adds more weight to the ongoing debate. With the New York State Athletic Commission still investigating, the possibility of the result being overturned, or at the very least leading to a rematch, remains a hot topic in boxing. Greg Hackett shared his perspective on the controversial draw between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. While many believe Roach was robbed, Hackett sees it differently. He argues that in boxing, underdogs often get outright losses against major names. But in this case, Roach at least got a fair shake.
Yeah, I was happy about the result because they didn't rob Lamont Roach. What I mean by rob Lamont Roach is they could have easily just gave him a loss, like they do a lot of guys in boxing. They do that to a lot of guys in boxing when you fighting a major guy. The reason I don't think it was a winner was because Lamont did great with Tank, but he was kind of fighting at Tank's pace. What I mean is, whatever Tank was giving him, he was giving back. So that's what made it a great fight. But it was never like he just took over the fight and beat Tank ass. I think he could have done that.
Hackett's breakdown highlights that Roach fought well, but never fully took control of the fight. He believes Roach's corner played it safe, instructing him not to overcommit, which may have cost him a more dominant performance. While some fans are calling for the decision to be overturned, Hackett stands firm that a draw was the right call. Hasim Rahman weighed in on the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. fight, questioning whether Roach was truly robbed or if Davis simply wasn't at his best. According to Rahman, Roach came in sharp, but Davis seemed off, lacking the usual fire fans are used to seeing.
Had Tank off. He was just off a little bit, and Roach was on his game, 100.
Absolutely was. Absolutely was.
So that's what I think. I think we didn't get 100% Tank. That's what I mean. I done seen Tank and Calvin go at it from when he was kids, from he was a child, and I just didn't see that Tank last night. You know, and Calvin wasn't able to push the buttons. You know, he wasn't. It wasn't Calvin. So I just feel like the preparation. It's clear that it wasn't the same.
Rahman pointed out that Davis's longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, couldn't push the right buttons this time, suggesting that the preparation for the fight may not have been up to par. While some believe Roach did enough to win, Rahman sees the fight as more about Davis underperforming, rather than Roach dominating. Ryan Garcia didn't hold back after watching Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr., making it crystal clear that he thought Roach got robbed. Jumping on Twitter, he blasted the decision, calling the missed knockdown one of the worst things he's ever seen in boxing. Ryan Garcia tweeted on X, "Lamont won that. Not calling that knockdown is the most wild thing I ever seen in boxing. That type of stuff makes boxing look bad. Crazy shit, see y'all May 2nd. And Ryan wasn't just venting. His tweet ended with, "See y'all May 2nd, dropping a hint about his own next move. With his ongoing drama with Devin Haney and Rolly Romero, Garcia is keeping his name in the headlines and making sure the boxing world is paying attention. Terrence Crawford couldn't believe what he was watching in the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. fight. The controversy over the missed knockdown had the boxing world buzzing, and Crawford wasn't about to stay quiet. He took to X to remind everyone how boxing rules should work, bringing up a moment from Floyd Mayweather's early career to make his point. Terrence Crawford tweeted on X, "Some of y'all need to watch Mayweather versus Hernandez and see Mayweather take a knee because he hurt his hand and it was called a knockdown and not from a punch either." Crawford wasn't done. If there was any doubt about how he felt, he made it crystal clear in his next post, outright calling it a robbery. And he also wrote, "They robbed that boy, and it's crazy. I never seen someone take a knee and they don't count it as a knockdown. Must have forgot the rules for tonight." For Crawford, this wasn't just about one fight, it was about boxing's credibility. A missed knockdown call at this level, that's the kind of thing that shakes up the sport. With top fighters like Crawford calling it out, the pressure is on to explain what really happened in that moment. Jake Paul wasn't holding back after watching Gervonta Davis go the distance with Lamont Roach Jr. The YouTuber turned boxer has never been shy about criticizing the sport's biggest names, and this time he had some strong words about Tank's performance.
Man, he got lucky at the draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, he gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. Oh my God. But God damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Paul's reaction reflects what many fans felt. This wasn't the explosive, knockout-heavy Tank they were used to seeing. Instead of delivering a statement win, Davis found himself in a controversial decision. But with opinions divided, the real question is, does this fight call for an immediate rematch? Eddie Hearn, known for his outspoken views on boxing controversies, didn't hold back when reacting to the controversial draw between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. The debate centered around the pivotal moment in round 9 when Tank took a knee, sparking questions about whether it should have been ruled a knockdown.
One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, "Oh, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner." I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it.
Hearn's statement highlights just how odd the situation was. If that moment had been ruled a knockdown, the entire fight's outcome could have shifted dramatically, making it a pivotal call. The confusion surrounding the decision leaves fans questioning the integrity of the officiating and whether Tank's reputation was unfairly spared. This fight, with all its controversy, has left fans and experts alike buzzing. The decision not to call that knee a knockdown could have been a game changer, altering the entire course of the bout. Was it an oversight by the referee, or was there something more to the decision? What if that knockdown had been counted? Could it have swayed the judges' cards and led to a completely different result? With all the mixed reactions from coaches, analysts, and fighters, one thing's for sure: this fight sparked a heated debate that boxing fans won't soon forget. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think the knee should have been counted as a knockdown? Was Gervonta Davis really lucky to get a draw, or did Lamont Roach deserve the win? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.